Okay. I see a giant arrow up ahead. I'm a little apprehensive because I don't have that many health poultices. Because I assume there's a battle because there's always a battle. I don't quite remember how this goes, so it'll be a surprise. Oh God, golems everywhere. You're a very bloody bunch.
My name is Caradon. Once, longer ago than I care to think, I was a paragon to the dwarves of Orzammar.
He's pretty badass. Like
Caradon, the Paragon Smith. Alive?
Ah, there is a voice I recognize. Shale of the House of Kadash. Step forward.
Oops, new Shale. Take the full screen.
You know my name. Is it you that forged me then? Is it you that gave me my name?
Have you forgotten then? It has been so long. I made you into the golem you are now, Shale. But before that you were a dwarf, just as I was. The finest warrior to serve King Valtor, and the only woman to volunteer.
A woman!
The only woman? A dwarf?
I laid you on the anvil of the void, here in this very room, and put you into the form you now possess.
Awesome.
The Anvil of the Void. That is what we seek.
If you seek the anvil, then you must care about my story, or be doomed to relive it.
Nope. He looks like he has breasts. So you made the anvil, huh?
Though I made many things in my time, I rose to fame and earned my status based on a single item. The Anvil of the Void.
Go on.
It allowed me to forge a man of steel or stone, as flexible and clever as any soldier. As an army, they were invincible, but I told no one the cost. No mere smith, however skilled, has the power to create life. To make my golems live, I had to take their lives from elsewhere.
Dun dun dun! A dire shortcut. Was it worth it?
So said my king. I had only intended to use volunteers, but he was not satisfied, and soon a river of blood flowed out of this place. Finally, it was too much. I refused, and so Valtor had me put on the anvil next.
Boo. Let's see here. I don't really like any of these options. One of them is, so you sealed it away? Orzammar could use it. What now? Do you want revenge? It sounds like you earned this. I'll ask if he wants revenge.
Not revenge. The blow of the hammer opened my eyes. My apprentices knew enough to make me as I am, but not enough to fashion a control rod. I retained my mind. You were amongst the most loyal, Shale. You remained at my side throughout, and at the end, I sent you away out of mercy.
Aww.
I do not remember.
We have remained entombed here ever since, and I have sought a way to destroy the anvil. Alas, I cannot do it myself. No golem can touch it.
No! The anvil is mine! No one will take it from me!
Cuckoo.
You fought to destroy the anvil once. Do not allow it to fall into unthinking hands again!
You speak of things I do not remember. You say we fought. Did you use our control rods to command us to do so?
I destroyed the rods. Perhaps my apprentices eventually learned to replace the rods. I do not know. But if so, then all they need is the anvil to make all the slaves they need. You, please, help me destroy the anvil. Do not let it enslave more souls than it already has.
So So we have a little bit of a moral dilemma. We are fighting an invincible army of darkspawn against a very large archdemon. There is kind of an unending supply of darkspawn because they apparently use our women to just poop more out, which is unfortunate. So it's kind of a weird asexual zombie thing that's going down. So the darkspawn kind of have the overwhelming advantage. So having an army of invincible soldiers would be pretty sweet. However, it is kind of a dick move to just start throwing people on the anvil, and considering how crazy Bronca is, don't know that she will accept volunteers. She'll probably just do a whole bunch of horrible shit. Considering what she did to her house, she's kind of a dick. So we are going to go with, you were a paragon once. I'll help you if you support a new king.
Don't listen! He's been trapped here for 1,000 years, stewing in his own madness. Help me claim the anvil, and you will have an army like you've never seen!
Crazy knows crazy.
You mad, bleeding nugtail! Does this thing mean so much to you that you can't even see what you've lost to get it?
Look around. Is this what our empire should look like? A crumbling tunnel filled with darkspawn spume? The anvil will let us take back our glory!
So then it's the, you're right, it's too powerful not to keep, and we are going to go with, the anvil enslaves living souls, it must be destroyed.
So it fights with Caradin? Good. That seems right.
Oh, good.
Thank you, stranger. Your compassion shames me.
Okay.
No! You will not take it! Not while I still live!
Bronca, don't throw your life away for this.
Let's see here. We have to destroy the anvil, Bronca.
Just give her the blasted thing. She's confused. Maybe once she calms down, we can talk to her.
I doubt giving it to her will do anything. That's not a risk I'm willing to take.
Bah! You're not the only master smith here, Caradin. Golems, obey me!
Oh shit!
Control rod! But, my friend, you must help me. I cannot stop her alone.
Oh great, what am I dealing with? Okay. She's got 5 golems on her side. Which I don't like those odds. Well, let's suit up. Oh, jeez. Come on. Oh, jeez. Dragon's dead. Ow. Okay. Everyone pile on Bronca. Dog pile. Ah, crap. Anytime you want to join in, Karen, I am fighting for you, big jerk. best that Ogren's dead. He didn't want to see that. What did she do now? What is this shit?
Yes. Protect my Anvil! It's mine! It's mine!
Get the real one.
You don't know what I'm capable of.
Oh, gross. Gross. Oh. She got beheaded, which I do feel bad about, but that's still really gross. Sorry, man. I'm really sorry I, like, cut your wife's head off. Like, I feel like shit. Golem registry. No treasure. Alright, Carradine.
Another life lost because of my invention. I wish no mention of it had made it into history.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Stupid woman. Always knew the Anvil would kill her.
How is it that the woman was not able to disable me as she did you, Carradine?
I do not know. Have you been altered?
I once had a pathetic little mage of a master. He did something to me, experimented on me, and then I killed him, and it rendered me paralyzed.
Perhaps he was bringing forth old memories, and caused you to remember the time when you fought at my side. The paralysis you speak of always resulted when the Master perished. As for your free will, you were always a strong woman, Shale. I am pleased to see you remain such.
Aww.
I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Do not thank me. All of this is my doing, my legacy. But at least it ends here. I thank you for standing with me, stranger. The Anvil waits there for you to shatter it. Is there any boon I can grant you for your aid? A final favor before I am freed from my burden?
Let's see here. I could have him make another golem. I can ask him to join me. I need a Paragon support to settle an election, and then I can ask Ogren. I'll ask Ogren.
Yeah. I don't suppose you can bring Bronca back. Maybe make her a golem like you.
I would not do such a thing to her, even if I could.
Somehow I didn't think so. Well, and I don't want anything that would remind me of this. Best it's just done. There is still the matter of the election. I mean, we still need a Paragon to get the Assembly support, right?
For the aid you've given me, I shall put hammer to steel one last time, and give you a crown for the king of your choice.
Daw. Is it a golem crown? Can I turn the king into a golem? That would Be pretty bitchin'. I've still got it. The mad skills. He's got such a tiny hammer. He's so huge. Ugh, make another one. That's hideous.
There, it is done. Give it to whom you will.
Cool.
I do not wish to hear their names, nor anything more of them. I have already lived far beyond my time. I have no place here.
Oh, okay. It is unfortunate the anvil can't be salvaged.
Aye, that was my great pride, and soon enough, my shame.
But where will you go? You don't mean to...
I do. I live to ensure that the anvil was never used again. Now it never shall be.
Huh.
We all must have an end, Shale. May yours be one of your own choosing.
Aww. It's a big fucking anvil. And I'm just gonna, like, beat on it? Man, I am super strong. Aw, he's gonna, like, go
You
Terminator
have
2.
my eternal thanks, stranger. A trust in all Tunshire. May you always find your way in the dark.
Do a backflip! Do a flip! Hopefully he gave me a thumbs up. That would mean a lot to me. And I got a Chivo! Okay. Well, we have finished the dwarf thing. And now we know the secret of Shale. Except there's more. You see a large stone tablet chipped with age with a great number of dwarven runes carved into the surface. I will examine it. The writing is in dwarven and appears to be a long list of names, each with the stamp of their house next to them. You recognize few of the house names. At the bottom of the list are the words, "We honor those who have made this sacrifice, let their names be remembered." The carvings are still deep enough that a tracing could be taken, allowing the information to be carried elsewhere. Hey Ogren, what is it?
Names. Long list of dwarves. Wait, hold on. We honor who have made this sacrifice.
I reread that
Let their
already.
names be remembered. Fart me a lullaby. It's a memorial of all the dwarves who became golems. Has to be. If there was some way of getting this back to the Shaper at Norzmar, I bet they'd brown their trousers and pay good gold for it. Probably both.
I love your turn of phrase. Hey Shale, what do you got?
No. Perhaps it thinks I should. It may have something to do with Caradin's words. If there is some way to make a copy of these runes, I am willing to study them. Perhaps there is something to be gleaned from them. I know not.
Okay, we will take a tracing. I take a tracing and store in my pack. Item received.
Shale of House Kadash.
Yep.
Is that who I once was? I find this difficult to believe.
You and me both, sister. You're tall for a dwarf.
I am not a dwarf. Or at least, I'm not a dwarf any longer. If I was this Shale of House Kadash, as Caradin said, there must be some evidence of my existence remaining. I must find it.
Maybe there are records in Norzmar?
There is another way.
Go on.
What Caradin said, it has allowed me to remember one thing. I believe I know where Kadash Taig is.
Is that not proof right there?
Perhaps it cannot understand what it means to be blank, but I must know. I must be certain.
Oh, okay. I must be certain. Then one of my opportunities for dialogue is, are you certain about this? Well, we'll go.
Its offer is appreciated. I will mark the location on its map. If we can journey there soon, I am most curious as to what we will find.
Okay. Shale approves. And Shale took up most of those cutscenes. Let's see. I'm still sighing. I have some questions.
It doesn't have better things to do.
Oh, I have other... I don't know if I already asked these. How did Wilhelm come to acquire you?
That part I know, as Wilhelm often bragged about it to whomever was willing to listen to him. He claimed to have found me in the deep roads. I was in the ruins of a Tig, he said, deactivated, with my control rod not far away.
Okay. So if she hadn't found you...
I wouldn't have had to put up with the twit, and I would be none the wiser. I don't think I was aware while I was there. Not like in the village. Or perhaps I was. Perhaps that was the dark place, and I simply couldn't see anything. How long could even I sit in the darkness and stare out at nothing, never sleeping? Oh, I do not wish to think of that.
Do you not know where you were there?
I think I remember a battle. It was long before, and then there was darkness. In short, no. I do not remember why I was there. It makes no difference.
Do you know where in the deep roads?
No. That secretive bastard refused to tell me. I would ask and ask, but no. He used to say that one day, if I were compliant and didn't talk back at his wife, he would take me there and I could look around myself. Rotten, lying bastard. If I had his head in my hands now, I would squeeze it like a giant lemon. Squish.
What was he doing in the deep roads?
It was a hobby of his, scavenging. One of the reasons he traveled so much is that he was looking for entrances into the deep roads, old places the dwarves had long forgotten. And then he would sneak down and search for magical treasure, before anyone was the wiser.
Wouldn't that have been dangerous?
Indeed. He had spells that allowed him to remain hidden and move quickly, but he had no defense against the blight, and worried constantly that he would get sick. If any darkspawn showed themselves, he fled. More often, he would have to fight other scavengers, dwarves who had become tainted. In the end, it killed him. I mean, he found me there, right?
Oh, delightful.
On then.
Oh, +7. Approval. Go, whatever that conversation was.
I've watched a lot of humans in my time. It should be aware that I've decided that it is not much like any of them.
Thank you? Probably because I'm not human.
Oh, it's not just that. Well, I'm sure that's part of it, but it's not only that.
Okay.
Surely it must come from some superior lineage, yes? Some breed of flesh creature that has decided to elevate its genetic stock above its natural shortcomings?
That would be elves, yeah. You were once a flesh creature yourself. I don't like where you're going, and there's a backhanded compliment in there somewhere. I'll just go with very likely. I am Dalish after all.
Then that must be it. The humans have always spoken about elves being inferior, but obviously this is their own stupidity talking.
Yep.
I would appreciate if it didn't spread around that I said anything. Humans might start to get the wrong idea. They might start thinking their race is not completely hopeless.
I'll keep it to myself.
Now, let us crush something into a fine paste before it starts to think I've gone all soft. Perish the thought.
Truly. +2 approval.
It speaks.
Yes, I have questions.
It doesn't have better things to do.
Nope. So you watched that village day and night for years?
I do not sleep, so yes. And I thank it for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Try to imagine, if it will, what it would be like to be surrounded by nothing but boring peasants, all oblivious to it.
That would be rather horrid.
And then there were the birds. A whole village full of pigeons and ravens and sparrows all perching on me day in and day out.
The bad touching. Sounds messy.
Those foolish villagers would spread birdseed near me, drawing the birds because they thought having birds perch on me was quaint. Quaint! If there hadn't been the occasional kind soul to scour me clean, I don't care to discuss this anymore.
Oh, oddly enough, I did get +6 approval.
It speaks.
Question.
It doesn't have better things to do.
Still no. You don't seem to like humans much.
That is true. I do not. I'm not interested in getting into a discussion on the subject, however. Ask another time. If it is done asking overly obvious questions, let us find some humans to throw off a cliff or something.
That sounds like fun. Nope, more questions.
It speaks. It doesn't have better things to do.
So you're female, huh?
I did not think it needed to be said. It has never told me what gender it is, has it?
I'm a girl. You just don't seem...
Why? Should I wear a flower on my head? Should I take up an interest in knitting?
Yes.
The truth is that whatever gender I was is irrelevant now. I am a golem. I have no gender. It will not become an issue.
No, it's just adorable. Are we going to fight over the same men?
Oh ho ho. I can tell that this is going to be a whole pile of laughs. Oh yes. Comedy goldmine. Now, let us crush something soft and watch it fountain blood. That is a girlish thing to want to do, yes?
Oh yes, we like fountains. Oh, disapproval -5. Fuck. I think I can talk to Ogren now.
Well, that pretty much beat the sod out of how I imagined it. You ready to head back yet and share the news?
Nope. I'm gonna look around a little more.
I wouldn't be in any hurry to get back to the assembly either.
Okay. Alistair?
Something on your mind?
I can ask the handsome question.
Of course.
And let's see here. I can ask him about his sex life, which I will ask that later. What changes about you after the joining?
You mean other than becoming a Grey Warden?
Yes. I mean, what changes physically?
You know, I asked Duncan this too, and all I got was, "You'll see."
Just try that line on me.
I can think of much better lines for you.
Really? Why don't you try it?
I might. Just you wait. Oh, it's not that Duncan wants to keep it a secret. It's just that the Grey Wardens don't discuss it much. I gather it's not a pleasant topic. The first change I noticed was an increase in appetite. I used to get up in the middle of the night and raid the castle larder. I thought I was starving. I'd slurp down every dinner like it was my last. My face all covered in gravy. When I'd look up, the other Grey Wardens would stare, then laugh themselves to tears.
Aww. Maybe you were just a pig.
That's me, Alistair the pig. I can go through a trough in 5 seconds flat, just you watch. Oh, and then there were the nightmares. Duncan said it was part of how we sense the Darkspawn. We tap into their, well, I don't know what you call it, their group mind. And when we sleep, it's even worse. You learn to block it out after a while, but at first it's hard. It's supposed to be worse for those who join during a blight. How is it for you?
I've had some strange dreams.
Some people never have much trouble, but that's rare. Others have trouble sleeping their entire life. They're just more sensitive, I suppose. Everyone ends up the same, though. Once you reach a certain age, the real nightmares come. That's how a Grey Warden knows his time has come.
What are you talking about?
Oh, that's right. We never had time to tell you that part, did we? Well, in addition to all the other wonderful things about being a Grey Warden, you don't need to worry about dying from old age. You've got 30 years to live. Give or take.
What?
The taint. It's a death sentence. Ultimately, your body won't be able to take it. When the time comes, most Grey Wardens go to Orzammar and die in battle rather than waiting. It's tradition.
Ah, Jesus. How cheery.
And you wondered why we kept the joining a secret from the new recruits. There you have it.
It kind of seems like a high price to pay.
I suppose it is. We're the only ones who can stop the Blight, however. Is there a price too high to pay for that? You know, Duncan, he started having the nightmares again. He told me that in private. He said it wouldn't be long before he'd go to Orzammar himself. I guess he got what he wanted. I just wish it had been something worthy of him.
Aww. He will be remembered, Alistair, as will the others.
I know. Ending the Blight should make this all worthwhile, right?
Yes. +3.
At your service.
At your service, huh? I have questions.
Of course.
What was it like to be a Grey Warden with all the others?
I didn't know them for very long. But I guess it was longer than you. You never met them all, did you?
I didn't meet any of
They were
them.
Quite a group. Actually, they felt like an extended family since we were all cut off from our former lives. We also laughed more than you'd think. There was this one time... Well, you probably don't want to hear stories about men you didn't know.
Were there any elves?
Just one, a man named Terramel. He kept to himself mostly. I got the impression that his life before the Grey Wardens was unpleasant. There was one Grey Warden who came all the way from the Anderfells. What was his name? Gregor. He was a burly man with the biggest, fuzziest beard you've ever seen. And the man could drink. He drank all the time, but he never got drunk. Finally, we all made a pool to see just how many pints it would take to put him under the table.
Just one of the boys, I see.
Oh, it wasn't always like that. Does it have to be serious and deadly all the time?
Yes.
Anyhow, we never did find out. He said he'd drink a pint for every half pint that the rest of us drank. He was still going by the time the rest of us were passed out. I'm told that Duncan walked in later on and saw us all passed out from one end of the hall to the other, and Gregor still drinking. Duncan laughed until he nearly...
Aww. I'm sorry, this must be hard for you.
Yes, I suppose so. I thought I was done with this, but it just struck me that I have nothing to remember Duncan by. Nothing at all. There's no body, not even a token of his that I could take with me.
I have his weapons.
That must sound really stupid to you.
No. That doesn't sound dumb. I have some crap from my parents, I think.
I just would have liked something of his to take with me, that's all. Well, there's no use in moaning about it, is there? He's gone. Let's just go.
He approves.
I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask?
Okay. Go ahead.
How about Ogren? You must have an opinion on the smell, at the very least.
Yeah, let's see here. No opinion. I rather like him. He's a bit much. Well, my friends seem pretty delighted about his voice actor, so I will say I rather like him.
I would too if he could stick to the ribald stories and not so much with the belching and projectile vomiting. How he lifts his sword is a bit of a mystery. Though I suppose the point is that he does lift it. And so long as we can point him in the right direction, he charges too. He has gusto, I'll give him that. What about Sten? The way he looks at me with those
He lusts
eyes.
for you.
Creepy. And he's so quiet for someone so big.
He's dedicated, I'll give him that.
Yet he doesn't seem quite so bad as the Chantry tells us. According to them, his philosophy is vile and evil. Yet he seems so reasonable. And yet, he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you?
That is a fair question. Well, we are all killers, Alistair.
I don't know if I like the sound of that, but I guess I take your meaning. What about Liliana? Is she crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you really believe in her vision?
Oh, well... Let's see. I believe she believes.
That's one way to put it. I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life.
Aww. Well, that was her choice.
Yes, I know. Still, I feel badly for her. Morrigan, do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said.
Probably. Oh, that is an option. You're probably right. You really don't like each other, do you?
Well, aside from the fact that she's a complete and utter bitch, no, I don't like her at all. Why, do you?
Oh, I love her. Oh, I like her just fine.
Great. I am thrilled beyond words. Now, really. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we?
Sure. Maybe. Let's see what else you got.
At your service.
At your service. I have questions.
Of course.
I don't know if I can ask him
Such as
more
they
about
are.
the Grey Wardens. No.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. At your service.
Well, we'll chat about his virginity later. Alright. Next up, Kadash Tig, if I can find the exit. Alright. We out.